Steads added, things like that. From ending numbers from last year, compared to this year, the taxable value is up $212,082,260. As I stated before, how much of that is new value that's going to affect the tax rate calculation right this minute, I don't know. But overall, I mean, $212 million is a lot of money, but I think once we get all those numbers for new values, it's not going to be a whole lot of additional value to calculate tax rates. So that's what
The figure you used from last year, it already had all that new value taken.
It already had all the.
But this $2,794,000 does not.
Correct. Right. And hopefully, like I said, I'll have that number by the end of today, and we'll be able to get the rate calculated by the end of the week. Which, if y'all have another special meeting, I should have it at that time. If not, it'll be the 13th. But I can certainly, as soon as we have that done, email everybody those figures so that everybody knows where we stand, maybe going into the next meeting.
There are, we're fortunate this year to be able to kind of stay paced with where we're at. Cost of living is one of the areas that we are trying to keep up with. I need to ask y'all your thoughts on, I'm going to probably put in the proposed budget a 3% increase. And I would like to open it up for discussion if anybody has anything other than.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that. So let's plan on about a 3%, which is not a lot of money, and but still it's something to try to help with the cost of inflation going up. I'd like to come up with some figures to work on, trying to work on our road and bridge department, on trying to get some salaries out there. You know, that's one of the few areas that we're really lacking in this county. We've got people working out there for $16 an hour. That's kind of hard. I'm going to put together something and present it to y'all and put it in the proposed budget. Does anyone have any concerns about doing that? Anything on that?
No, sir. Okay. I think that'd be good. We need to get their salaries where we can.
One of the other things that happened is that Paul came to me about one of our workers getting just a tiny bump. And so I'm going to probably be presenting that in the future to happen. Murray, as far as your budget goes, I think you talked about it, you're going to stay pretty close, except for the vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Now, my question to you is, last year you used SB 22 to get two of those vehicles.
Correct.
You're going to pay on that this year?
We would like to use most of the SB 22 money to try and do a couple of things we're looking at that don't have all the figures yet. And I've got to get with Zach and them to make sure the system will handle it. We're trying to look at upgrading our video systems in our vehicles to get more now the body cams and the vehicles can be compatible and both work off each other and download automatically to the system, which then can go to the DA's office or defense or whoever they go to. The second thing we've looked at and tried doing is Matt and working really hard trying to get the MDT systems going and all that. We're actually looking at using computers. Y'all know how much those are. Y'all got those this last time. We're looking at trying to do some of that with the SB money and trying to use that SB money to try and do some bigger projects that we don't have to come back to the court and ask for money for to compete with everything else. So we're asking, we can keep our numbers pretty much the same if y'all can work with us on vehicles. Last year we said we'd get 5 vehicles. The vehicles jumped in price drastically. So we ended up getting 2 vehicles out of budget. We got 2 vehicles out of the SD money, and then we bought 1 vehicle out of seizure money. The year before, we bought 3 or 4 vehicles for the jail out of the jail money. So I mean, we've done everything we can without having to come back every year and ask for more and more.
Of the $350,000 that you get,
Correct.
how much of that is designated for salaries?
Just get with Natasha on that. We're paying $2 an hour for deputies right now and $1 an hour for
But
jailers.
we've been dealing with what you have left. Because you're going to do those same salaries.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything left this year?
We have about 51,000 right now, and we're looking at trying to do some stuff, trying to use the remainder of that also. But that's
We
about
need
where
to
we're at.
use the remainder.
Yes, sir, we're going to.
What are your plans for the rest of it for the?
We've looked at a couple of different things and don't have it all worked out on paper. I'll be more happy to get a response for you later on. I was out the end of last week sick and the first of the week of conference, so I don't have all that numbers right there in top.
Okay, how many till you flip? I know that when we started this commission, we just started buying cars. We bought an average of three to 4 years.
We're trying to, yes, sir. If we can get,
Till you flip your fleet.
if we can get 3, I think we figured it out a couple of years ago, if we can get 3 a year, then we can roll our fleet out every 4 years, which would be getting your cars out about 180,000 miles as opposed to 300 and something thousand miles.
So,
But if you order a car right now, today, for next year's budget, you're gonna be getting them about like now, about July, so you're still.
so you said 3. If we put 2 in with retrofitting them, and then put 1 out of the SB 22, would that be something we could look at doing for the next year?
Go with the commissioners, we look at doing anything, I mean, we're gonna try to work with you, not against you,
Right.
but, I mean, I think trying to keep our budget numbers down, we didn't ask for an increase in any of the lines, we said we'll keep our lines the same this year. Only thing we're asking for is to, be recognizable for the salaries around us, but then also the vehicles, that's the only the increase we ask for.
I think Micah is asking, I want to make sure what he is. If we did 2 again
Mhm.
and totally outfitted, out of budget, then you could make the decision whether you need 3 or 4.
Yeah.
By, out of the SB money.
We do.
Because if you get by with 1, you just take 1 and then do all
Yes.
your computer
I
stuff.
know, I mean, it's budget time, y'all are gonna prefer 2, I'm gonna prefer 3. So, it's back before we
What's the year total right now?
23.
And so you're done, around.
I think the oldest one in the fleet right now, we still run in 2009s in CID. We're trying to get rid of those. It's one of the things we're trying to do with the SB money this year. And we've got one 2015 still out there. I mean, we fell behind.
How many 2009 just
We have 2 still in CID, the 2009 trucks. But
How many do you
2012,
have total out there? 23?
23,
You got 23 people. And how many people do we have?
23, 24.
We have 24.
We're doing great on our vehicles the last few years, and that's one of the things I think everybody's worked really hard on. It's great and it shows, and our fleet's getting better. And as our fleet's getting better, then our maintenance will start kind of leveling out and going back down. But whenever you start getting those vehicles up there, 250, 280, 300,
So
you know, they're not worth anything.
Everything's Tahoes, and then you have 2 Ford pickups.
Getting rid of those, trying to.
And I'm not trying to put a negative on this, but you're always, most of the time, you're at least 2 people down, right? Would that be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
So we've got 2 vehicles that are just not being used.
They get used because the old ones are in the shop all the time, so
But
there's always rolling vehicles.
for mileage though, when those are in the shops, there's not mileage being put on them.
Correct.
So the point I'm trying to make is that there was a time when, if I remember right, back in 2018, 19, we were lucky to get any vehicles. I don't know if that was just the thoughts back then, but we're in pretty good shape right now. You got at least one.
Our fleet's
one for one.
Our fleet has done, I mean, we've done a lot better in our fleet management, for sure, and it shows. But at the same time, like you said, you're not getting any mileage on that vehicle while it's in the shop. That's correct. But if you got them in the shop and 2 people are using the one new vehicle, you're just doubling up on the mileage on that one, while you're trying to
You're doubling up because they weren't being used. But anyway, I get what you're saying. Okay, so I think we got to get here. Anything else you want to talk about on your budget?
not unless you have some questions about anything.
Now then, let's talk about would it be fair to talk about the elephant in the room? How can I say this politically correct? There's a guy here, I'm not gonna mention names, he's got a big black beard. Talk to us about. Zach, talk to us about why we originally started with $800,000. And as y'all know, it made me sick. I was in the hospital. You're the reason, Zach. So talk to us about your budget.
All right, sorry for making you sick. So the increase is a one-time increase, at least for the next 5 to 10 years. We've made the equipment that we've had for the last, I'd say, we've got stuff in there from 15 years ago. And we've made that last this long. I'm not saying that we can make this stuff last that long again, because you should always have a refresh rate of 10 years on servers and switches and the other hardware for the networking infrastructure. You can kind of run a little bit longer, but the increase is to get us to where we need to be as far as networking infrastructure to be able to run the entire county, as far as internet, for the sheriff's office, the jail, the courthouse, and all the JPs that are out of this building, obviously. Fairgrounds, road and bridge, and we have all that equipment that needs to be replaced. It needs to be refreshed. That is one of the big items that I added to the budget to pay for it. The servers are very out of date. They're end of life. They don't have support on them. So if, say, the encode server goes down, then payroll gets taken out. And I believe this happened before I got here. At one point, a hard drive had died on one of them, on the encode server. And without support, you're looking at 4 days down, and if that's right in the middle of payroll, then they can't do payroll. So with support, you can get that back up and running within 24 hours. You can get a Dell tech to drive a server up here, or a hard drive up here. And that cost also includes better backup solutions than what we currently run off of. So quicker turnaround times on restoration for files that get lost or deleted. I would go into all the cybersecurity issues, but I don't know if we want to put that on the internet.
Can any of this be done in stages, or is it just one of the scenarios where it all has to be replaced at the same time for it to?
For example, we put 350 in this year's budget.
Right, so I'm already kind of breaking
I like
into
the Dell,
stages.
do the logs and do the computer for the cameras.
Yeah, so they need Wi-Fi out at the sheriff's office for that system, for the cars to upload the data directly into the servers. And I don't even have that on this budget. So I can work with that. I can take some from somewhere else and put it there if we're gonna do that next fiscal budget. I'd say the stages, with everything being the way that it is right now and how out of date it is, I don't think it would be smart to do it in phases. Only because of how far behind we are and how much of a risk it is. I don't want to live out of fear, but in this day and age, if we get hit with cybersecurity ransomware, it can cost $2 million to repair, to fix everything that gets damaged in that process.
So you really need is to put the 600 in.
I understand cybersecurity is ever evolving. You build a 10-foot fence, they build a 11-foot ladder. You build a 12-foot fence, they build a 13-foot ladder. So that's correct. It's always progressive.
Always move. And with the switches, the network infrastructure that I want to put in, this company is a really good company. The vendor is, the manufacturer. They are top of the line for cybersecurity, and they stay on top of it, and they help the customers. So
And you're still working with them to try to keep the numbers down fairly?
I am, yes. So these numbers, so I didn't break them down. I did put it in my budget workbook. I don't know if you guys got a copy of that, but my network infrastructure is $200,000. So that is a budgetary number. That's without discounts on hardware and promotional deals. So it will be lower than that. The $364,000 for the servers, that's the same deal. That's budgetary number. It'll be lower than that. These are just the high number, the high end side of these two things, because they won't give me finalized quotes without being there, ready to pay. You know what I mean? And I am still working with other vendors to find out the pricing. So it could be even lower than that.
That unanticipated revenue from nothing else but the northwest part of the county. Well, I think we probably need to do this.
Let me say this to you. We're gonna get 4.75 million I talked about, and we don't want to spend that up all at one time. However, next year, if we took the interest off 10 months that we're gonna be looking at, or 9 months rather, we're gonna be looking at, we're talking about $176,000. So if we really look at how much money we gotta try to find, we're talking about around $320,000. Or 400, I should say. No, yeah, 400. So
we'll need to put that in the budget.
anyway, anything else, Zach? I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm just saying, and I don't know if the cost of paying using any of that money, the revenue off, because it's money we haven't gotten, but by December 31st, we're at 4.7, we put that immediately at 5%. Approximately 176,000 in this next budget.
I haven't started working on any of that part yet, but I was gonna get with you to see what all those shipping was gonna be coming in.
Okay. Anything else that y'all really want to? I think we'd like to try to get the employees a little bit of a raise. We can keep our health insurance the same as it was, that's looking good. We're able to buy some new equipment. This is not really on the topic that's come up. Thursday and Friday, so we have Natasha found someone discussing equipment they want to sell at a discount to the county. I had James Tranter go look at that, and he says it's a tremendous bargain. So I may be coming to you with this money. Does any commissioner have any problem with us?
No,
No. So,
it's great buy.
so I just want to throw that out there, you know, exactly what the budget. This person was unfortunately, found out he had stage 4 cancer, and just wants to do something nice for his family. So, anyway, bottom line is, past that, anything else that we need to talk about on the budget workshop? Okay, that being the case, let's see, we'll go ahead and stop that and go into our turn. And I'll say maybe second motion in a second, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you all very much. Talk to you at time.